We're good. We live, baby.
We live. Oh, yeah, we live, baby. All right, come on, Twitch. Push us live. Wait for some people to mosey on in here.
Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe next thing we do. It's pretty simple. Like maybe we just get like a countdown and then play music.
Yes, I'm going to work on that this next week coming up.
I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
We only started at 6:55.
I will get the graphic made. We'll get all the people in the chat so we don't have to have this little awkward period. Like right now. What's up, chat?
Like right now.
Little awkward period while we wait for people to click the link and get in the dang show.
Yeah, we just gonna sit here and wait. We're watching this European 2K that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, some crazy stuff been going on there. Lots of updates. Lots of crazy stuff happening. I just love COD. I can't get enough of it. Dude, like, we had our little Thanksgiving break. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, by the way, everyone in the chat. Hope you all had a good time with family, friends. Maybe did some, I don't know, shopping, got some sales. I know I did. I got a few T-shirts, Black Friday.
A few T-shirts.
Yeah, I got some T-shirts. Feeling good, but crazy stuff going on. Dallas coming up very soon. Seems like this time is just flying by lately.
Really fast.
Flying by.
Yeah, I leave this week because we got Years of War, and then we go straight into Call of Duty. So back to back.
Joey D's living in Dallas for the next couple weeks.
Everybody's living in Dallas.
True.
The whole world is moving to Texas.
True.
It's going to be,
it's late.
Claimed as the Call of Duty country of the world pretty soon.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Optic. The MLG's there now. At Envy. We'll have San Antonio TPs. Yeah, so Splice and Supremacy's going Game 5. Vitality's in the finals.
Oh, shit.
It's a crazy day.
The Twitch title. What am I doing? Hardpoints, episode number 3. It's simple. That's the one thing I forgot.
Talking about my PS. Yes, Matt. Yes. I literally got home from work, ate, and I got on. I was like, screw it. I'm not shaving. I was thinking about it.
Joe's very attractive. I'll be the one to say it. If no one else will, I'll say it. Okay.
All right, well.
We updated the title. We're fine now. Okay, let's get right into this. We have basically an hour until this 2K starts back up. I'm sure a couple teams will be streaming that, so we want to make sure we get through all these topics, get it all covered, so you guys can go watch the 2K, because, hell, I want to watch it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, first we're going to start off with the CWL November update. DeLuca, update these people on what the hell is going on.
Yeah, so our good friend Eric Muddog, thank you, Eric Muddog, sort of just gave us an update. First things first, just a story so far. We've gone over it. Really in Europe, Red Reserve and Splice, Mind Freak and APAC, Optic and NA. Basically what everybody predicted. Luminosity as back-to-back runner-ups. They're playing pretty well. But yeah, that's just all stuff everybody knew. CWL New Orleans expansion. I believe tomorrow team passes, extra team passes go on sale. It's going to be the biggest Call of Duty event ever. I mean, 256 in open,
that's
plus
crazy.
The pool play teams, 272 teams.
Wow.
That's absolutely insane. I didn't even think that would ever happen, but
let's get more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just going to keep pushing it. Adam's going to have a stroke, but it's fine. We'll keep doing it. 2K format changes, so really why we had to push this up an hour. I think everybody enjoys this, especially pro players. These 2K tournaments were going late, so basically we just create a rule where if it's under 256 teams, play it out throughout the day. That's what we saw in APAC. They got done. If it's 256 to 512 teams, it'll be like last week where you'll have semifinals and the finals take place on Monday. If it's more than that, which we got this week in both Europe and North America, shout out to all you guys, all the participants.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have quarters, semis, and finals take place on Monday. So I think everybody's super happy with that. I mean, you have to watch the best teams in the world if they stream. If they decide not to, well, I guess you got to wait till Dallas. Coming up this week as well, it's pretty important. Dallas pool play draw.
Oh, so, baby. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll have a pool play draw show. I'm excited as well. That'll air on Wednesday. Everybody's calculating points. Community's doing it. We're doing it here. It's pretty crazy how close these teams are. I mean, you have teams in the EU who are still being decided. The one team in APAC you would never guess, but Mind Freak made it. It was intense. It was close. I'm just kidding. They dominated three in a row. In the top 10 NA teams, we'll get to it. But there was a few teams yesterday who an absolute miracle had to happen for them, and it did happen. Some big choke artists out there, they lost to teams. I don't know if they just took them not as serious, but they had the pool play spot, and they
Threw it
let
away.
teams like United and
They
Evil
threw it on the
Geniuses sort
ground.
of
They
take it.
stomped on it. They just tossed it to someone else. It was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Dallas Charlie stream. So I know everybody wants as many streams as possible. Everybody would love to watch all the games. If you'd had, 100 streams, I'm sure everybody would love that. But we're gonna have a Charlie stream. I don't believe it'll have any sort of talent on it, but it will just be spectating different games.
That's
Everybody's
cool.
super excited about that.
I like that.
So yeah, that was the CWL November update. Thank you, Eric Mud Dog. Mud Dog is
Mud Dog,
in the chat.
can we
Thank you
get
very much, man.
everyone spam Mud Dog in the chat because he's the best. Thanks for all the information, Mud Dog. You're good at your
Yeah,
job.
thank you, Mud Dog.
Thanks, Mud Dog. Okay. Now, so we touched on some of the chokes that happened there, crazy stuff. Man, I you know what? I can't believe I thought the Saga team was really gonna make it in. I thought they were doing really well, consistent placings in the 2K's previous, and they lost to E6. So I think that speaks to some credibility of how consistent that E6 is doing. And
Right.
I know it's online, and it's can create some weird results at times, but if you look at the top eights, man, it's pretty damn consistent.
Yeah, no, it is. And that's sort of been the argument the past couple of years, right? I, for one, when I was a player, I hated online. I know you did just as well. But you can't deny the results. Even, in Black Ops 3, when all of the Pro League was online, they were pretty consistent for the most part. It does suck. There are always horrible situations, disconnects, just things that it's very tough to prevent. Players have to learn how to protect themselves, all these different things. But, I mean, for the most part, as we said, APAC, Mind Freaks dominated. EU, for the most part, has been the same until this 2K.
Yeah.
And then NA, the top 8, like maybe you have some teams come in and out, but really the top 4, top 6 have all really been the same.
Yeah, just great performances overall. It seems like as these 2Ks are going on, more and more teams are streaming them, so I'm a huge fan of that. There's a lot of teams we haven't been able to touch on enough, and our really first time going to be seeing competitive play from them will be at Dallas. So really excited as time goes on. We're going to be able to see a lot more gameplay from all these sort of teams. Speaking just on that EU 2K a little bit, I know a lot of people want us to touch on that a fair amount.
Yeah, let's do it.
Pretty crazy stuff with Splice basically locking down that first seed because Red Reserve, well, they lost to the movie stars.
Yeah, so I think this is big, right? The past couple of years, really maybe just last year, but Spain and France, they were in the community, and then it just seems like they sort of got away from themselves, and now they're back. I mean, they're playing extremely well. Yes, the whole online ordeal, whatever it is, but they're back in the mix of things, and it's great to see Vitality there in a final. They beat XL. Obviously, there were some teams that, they might not have had the toughest road, but Movie Star Riders, they beat their rivals in Spain. They beat Giants. They beat Red Reserve, and then they lose to Vitality. So just good on them. I think that's good for basically everyone. I'm not sure if it was the sort of national circuit update that sort of got them in high spirits to sort of participate this year in the CWL and really get pumped up, but it seems like that community is back.
Very, very cool to see. Chat, we see what you guys are saying. We will touch on some of these topics at the end. We're going to go through our little schedule first, and then we'll talk about that stuff you guys want to talk about. Don't worry about that. So just moving on, touching on the EU just a little bit, some crazy stuff. It's cool to see some of these changes happen, to see who's going to lock down those pool play spots. Cool stuff overall, and glad that we're able to see some of those teams streaming and doing well. Good to see that. Hopefully, I want to see some other regions make some waves this year. I think it's the best time to do it. They have more to play for than ever with the different regional things going on. So it's really cool.
Yep. So I think if we sort of look at the pool play standings, Red Reserve, Splice, they're locked in. Yep. Scraps team, I'm pretty sure they're locked in as well. I saw them tweeting. So really, there's just 2 spots. One of those spots is Epsilon. I'm pretty sure the only way they can get kicked out of pool play for Dallas is if Supremacy wins the entire thing. Now they're game 5 right now with Splice, and then the other side, you had Delaware, who was a team who had a very good spot. They lose in the quarterfinals to Supremacy. Vitality and Movie Star Riders, they get to semis, and I think with Vitality's win, they sort of take that spot. So I'm pretty sure Vitality is in pool play now. So yeah, I mean Epsilon, even their position is sort of at risk. I mean, it's just crazy. They have one by time. Who did Epsilon lose to? They lost to Supremacy. So Supremacy, they beat Millennium,
They're on a
they
roll.
beat Epsilon, they beat Delaware, and now they're going to Game 5 with Splice.
Woo, man.
They're making a hell of
Frenchies
a
are
run right
turning
now.
up.
Yeah, Supremacy is stepping up big time because I think they're like 20th seed right now in this 2K, so they haven't had sort
Wow.
of the best. So that means they've been placing round of 16, round of 32. They haven't played, really well. Yeah, Epsilon are only out at Supremacy win it all.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just have to keep up with that story. I mean, if Supremacy beats Splice, you're gonna have a France versus France battle, and who knows which way that goes. I mean, that'll be absolutely crazy.
Man, how mad would you be if you're one of those bubble teams and one of these
Yep.
teams out of the blue just come in and have a hell of a day and freaking take it and knock you out?
You just
bro.
have a great weekend,
oh my
right?
God, I'd be so pissed. And
Yeah.
like speaking of how crazy this open bracket's gonna be at Dallas, like,
Mhm.
oh, what a momentum killer. Oh, that'd be brutal. But props to the teams that are making waves. Supremacy obviously on a hell of a run. See if they can do it. They got to be close to be getting done with that match versus Splice though.
All right. Well, before we sort of get into NA and we'll keep up with the updates, I just saw a tweet, Tyler, from COD Gamepedia, which is like the new COD wikis. They
Okay.
just tweeted, it's looking like Next Threat have dropped Mir and Moch for Nagafin and Methods.
Ooh.
Now, that's not anything that is
Okay.
confirmed yet, but that is a supposed rumor that just went live.
Suppose
So-
rumor.
Nagafin Methods, I don't even. Who would the other two be? Doug and who's the fourth on that team?
Doug and Ricky.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that changes up some things there, but again, these guys really aren't in the battle. But just wanted to update everybody on that one because it really, at the end of the day, these guys haven't played too well yet. All right, NA2K. We still have the quarterfinals tonight, but the big stories here, Tyler, is Rocket, Methods team, who supposedly just broke up, Saga. They were all in great positions. I believe they were like the 8th, the ninth, the 10th, and like the 11th seeds. They were all really, really close to one another. Rocket Esports, which is like TCM, Demi, Nelson, Twiz.
Yeah.
They lose like round 5 to check 6 or round 4. They don't even
Wow.
earn pro points this week. I'm pretty sure all they had to do was earn pro points or
And
get
they were
like
fine. Yeah.
top 16, and they were fine.
They
Get none. They lose to check 6. They completely choke.
Who's check
Methods
6?
team. It's like Ghoster and them.
Okay. I mean, so it's not like.
I mean, it's not like, but it's still.
Yeah,
this is
they
teams,
should.
They should beat them.
Especially in that position, like you'd think they'd lock it down. What a choke, though.
Methods and those guys, I believe they lost to Underworld. They might have only gotten 200 points or so. It was something ridiculous, but basically E United and EG, they clutch up, and this is just sort of the thing that sort of gets your year started. I mean, you perform well for 2 weeks, you put yourself right in the position, and then on the last day, the last sort of 2K, you throw it all away. I don't understand how that happens.
And then I know it's harder for some teams to have the resources to do this, but just hear me out on like these early weeks with how these pro point systems works. Like you gotta get together and make your lives as easy as possible, in my opinion, with how much how much stakes are on the line, especially in these early 2Ks. So go to the same house somewhere. I don't know. Get somewhere to go and group up, and so that type of stuff doesn't happen. I'm
pretty sure BL Fire, Sinful, Methods, I think they're all from that tri-state area.
Yeah,
so I don't even think
close
that's
enough.
a huge concern, right? Like these guys just lose to Underworld. Underworld is Killa, Sender, Swarley, Fears.
That's a good
So
team.
yeah, they lose to a pretty good opponent, but again, all they have to do is sort of win that game and they're in. And then Saga, they lose to E6.
Yeah.
They win there. They were in. That's a tough matchup. I totally
it's
get
very
it.
tough. E6 is solid.
They just needed some help. They needed somebody to beat United, someone to beat EG, but those guys lose 3-1 to E6 in the round of 16, and that's it for those guys. I mean, that's a team I know that you really had your eye on.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a scary team in open bracket, in my opinion. Especially,
Yep.
I'm not sure how some of these matchups are going to work out early, like in some of the earlier rounds before even the qualifying rounds in open bracket. But I feel like we're just going to have some crazy matches. We're going to have some unexpected people dropping into losers early from the
Yep.
open bracket this event, and people are gonna be angry, and some are gonna be really happy.
Yeah, and speaking of open bracket, guys, obviously next week we'll discuss open bracket. We'll
Yeah,
discuss pools later today. We're even gonna do a mock draw later today. I did a few during work today just to see how sort of pools will play out. So we'll get all of that stuff later on. But let's see. Let's talk about big matchups last night in the NA 2K. And this was really round of 32 or round of 16 because again quarterfinals are tonight. They start in about 45 minutes. E6 they beat Saga 3-1. We just covered that. Echo Fox beat Envy, and that actually might have scared some Envy fans. You know, Envy they only got 200 points. Even now, I believe they were like top 4 seed. Now they'll drop. They'll drop pretty far to where when they get drawn for pool play, they're going to be deep in that. So that's scary for
yeah.
a lot of teams. Like yes, they do make pool play, but they're not in the best place because Echo Fox they beat them in a game 5.
It's gonna definitely cause one of those extremely top heavy groups where the top two teams are gonna be, I feel like kind of leagues better than the rest, just because they will be in one of those middle pot scenarios, just like you said. And the fact that Echo Fox was able to beat them, I believe it was around 11 too. So, man,
Yep.
these are the types of series I wish they would at least record and put up on YouTube a
Yeah.
little bit later, just so I can see what the hell happened, because it was so intense. They know it's on the line. Echo Fox had to do a lot of work in this 2K. They were to win a big match like that. I just wish I could see it.
Yeah, I agree. And really, this is the first sort of ray of sunshine that you've seen from Echo Fox,
Right.
right? I mean,
Finally
we've
beating a
talked about
huge
this
opponent. Yeah.
roster. They beat a very solid opponent in Envy. I mean, again, you just talk about the talent on this team. Sort of Saints that he won an event last year. Gunless he won an event last year. Facento somehow finds his way top 3 at champs.
Yeah.
Assault always been a solid player. So these guys like they have the talent, but it seems like you were thinking this week they can make a run. But then they face E United in the next round, and they get beat 3-0. And that was huge for E United. That put them in the top 8. I'm pretty sure that secured their spot. So E United, they 3-0 Rogue. They 3-0 Echo Fox. Really, since the first 2K where E United sort of choked some games to E6, that was the big story was
Yeah.
they were on the bubble, and could they make it back into that pool play? So a big week for those guys.
Oh yeah, big sigh of relief, I'm sure, when they were able to get that win in that one. And man, United has looked like a top team for me, but if you're not able to close out games consistently, it's definitely a huge problem going on. I'm sure Clay really, focused heavily on practice, really those small situations this week to make sure it didn't happen again. But the fact that they made it into pools, I think that'll set them up very well for Dallas, and they'll have a good finish there.
I always feel like teams with Clay on it. I don't know what it is, but early on in games, like he goes through a lot of stressful things.
He
I'm
really
just trying to
does.
think. Hey, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it always just seems like Clay's teams early on just have a early tough run. But I'm very happy for those guys. They'll have a quarterfinal matchup against E6, who beat them in the week 1 of 2K, the 2K in a game 5 where there was like crazy chokes back and forth. So we'll see. They'll be seeking out revenge. We'll talk about that matchup later on when we sort of preview the quarterfinals in the NA2K. The next one was Evil Geniuses. This was the other team that was on the bubble, had a very scary run in the round of 32. They had to play FaZe, and I don't know if you saw the tweets from
Yeah, I
last
saw
night,
that.
but
Yeah.
they had some very close games, and this is sort of the thing, right? FaZe, you can just like they sort of they suck week 1. I mean, they just do. They put themselves in a horrible spot. Like you have those pro points advantages. You're going to get a better seed. You don't have a good run. And this is just what sort of happens. Round of 32, you have to beat EG. And it's just a super tough matchup that could have gone either way. But if you're a FaZe fan, if you saw those games or those pictures last night, at least you know how competitive your
Yeah.
team's being.
Totally. And if any people from either of those teams are in here, upload the games, please. I hope you recorded them. I don't know how you are going to get them up, but please, I want to see that series because it was damn close every single game. The fact that EG chokes a 5-0 lead in Surge. They got full sailed. They got full sailed, bro. Maybe not, Pat says. Okay, whatever. But just overall talking on these finishes, touching on Ground Zero Parasite's team a little bit, I am very happy watching that team with the amount of consistency that they have. It seems like all that issues, the stupid arguments they were having, a couple of weeks back, they seem very, very consistent with study now. They seem very happy, with the roster now, and it's cool to see the fact that they've got consistent top eights every single time. It's got to be a confidence boost for all of them. The couple of S&D stars coming in that were, unsure if they were going to be able to make it in the pro scene. Haggy getting back to, his top form on boots in the ground. I'm sure that feels great for him. They're in a good spot for pool play, and I think they're going to do quite well at Dallas. Speaking on EG now, seems like their respawns are so damn good and consistent, but their search is a damn mess. And I talked to Pat a little bit about this earlier, and he says it's mostly just communication stuff. This is just my opinions that he'll probably disagree with because he disagrees with everything. But I just feel like they not on the same page is the best way to put it. So I'll agree with him there. But it seems like a lot of times when they're playing really damn slow on St. Marie, for example, they try and play these retakes on these bomb sites that are, searching this game, they're impossible to retake. So it's like they never really have anything to hit them back fast. And maybe it's just a matter of not agreeing on strategies, not practicing enough, not trying to, basically haven't figured things out. That's something that you figure out very fast on LAN. So I feel like it'll be all good. And the fact that they made pool play and clutched up there was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, that sort of pool play position, just getting there, that stress relief, it's a good feeling. You and I both know how that is. Because, again, pool play, that's where you want to be. I mean, I feel like a team like EG, I mean, we can talk about the open bracket next week, but I feel like a team like EG shouldn't have an issue in the open bracket, even if they started there. They're not. They're going to be just fine, but this was a roster everybody was just very excited to see. I mean, again, Nameless and Pat, they didn't have the best years last year.
Yeah.
They had horrible COD champs. We weren't too sure if they were going to pull off a roster like this, but they do. They get 2 stars in Enable and Apathy. And I'm just excited to see. I've seen some scoreboard clips. Thank you, Pat. But Pat's been playing pretty well. I saw some great games out of Nameless, and that's just what you want to see.
I just feel like this is going to be a really good LAN team. They all have an immense amount of experience. I feel like when it comes down to the wire here, they're not going to choke search and destroys on LAN. I feel like they're all going to be in a very comfortable spot. Apathy looks like a beast from the little things that I've seen him be able to do with the PPSH. Not surprising. He's been a top 3, top 5 sub player in the past couple of years. So absolute beastly team. They clutched up. It was damn close, but and they got some help from other teams choking, but they made it.
No, absolutely. I was talking to Pat today. He's like, dude, you were not kidding. Everything had to go right for us, and it did. So things are looking up for Evil Geniuses if you're an EG fan. Again, I'm a little scared because you touched on it, Search and Destroy being a little weak, and that is just a game mode where your communication just has to be on point. You have to trust one another.
Especially early on.
Yeah, and I can see could see this team losing a game 1 and then losing both searches at Dallas. That's how I see them probably going out. It's just like an LG, you know what I'm saying? Last year, it's like, all right, this team has an immense amount of talent, but if they suck at S&D, they're not going to place well.
Yeah.
We got good stuff coming. All right, we'll see, Pat.
Secret
we shall
stuff,
see. Yeah, I bet you do.
Pat's pulling out the playbook at Dallas.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
You better have pulled it out yesterday.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
Full
Ground
sail
Zero.
Unreal.
I'm similar. You touched on them. I'm very excited to see how these guys perform at Dallas. They're going to be that one team that people just aren't going to know what to expect. And in studying the submachine gun role, I think is really the most unique aspect because when we've seen Study sort of be at his best form, it's with an AR the past couple of years. When I teamed with him in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Last year he was always using that sort of AR. So we'll see how that sort of works. I feel like he's sort of a player where if he gets a little caught up and plays a little too fast, his team could run into some issues. So we'll see how that works. Splice 1, Game 5. Okay.
Oh, Splice 1. Okay, so that's Supremacy's dreams are ruined.
Yes.
Is that what
so
that means?
I believe Vitality will get in. I believe that also lets Epsilon get in. So yeah.
Crazy.
So I think we'll have the 5 EU teams.
Very cool. Just to touch one more thing on Ground Zero, sort of the opposite of how I feel about EG. I love watching Ground Zero play Search, and I'm so happy that they stream it so I can see their movement on the map is so good. They rotate bomb sites very fluidly. I can't hear their communication, but it seems like everyone is on the same page. A lot of consistent rounds that I have seen on pretty much every single map. Seems like their initial strategies on maps are just a little bit ahead of some of the other teams that I've seen. It'll be interesting to see if they can get some, more experience in versus, the top tier on the NA side.
Yeah, and the thing with pool play, right, going into it is, if you have a bad day and start off 0-3, it's tilting, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I can see this Ground Zero team just like having a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see like the true side of this team because everything is going right now. Like, I still want to see them improve. I feel like they're a little happy with 5 through 8 because they're getting the job done. They got pool play, right?
Yeah.
That's the number one goal. The next goal is to win an event and to keep getting better and better. Well, maybe the next goal is to get top 3 or, to get top 2 this 2K. But the fact of the matter is you want to see this team improve. You don't want to see them sort of stagger. So we'll see how this team does, man. But the fact of the matter is when things start getting tough, we'll see the true colors of this team and how mature they are.
Volatile personalities. When things are going bad, Haggy just starts yelling at everyone, just being complaining all the time. We've both you more than me, but have dealt with Study when things aren't going well and when he's not focused and in his top form. I don't know the S&D stars too well in Decimate and Blastful, so I'm not going to speak on them too much. But it just seems like as soon as something goes wrong, the whole thing could crumble back down, and we see a roster change pretty early on in the year. I really hope it doesn't happen, but you bring up good points. It definitely could.
Yeah, so I think that was basically it from the NA 2K. Again, we didn't touch much on the APAC 2K. I saw a few people, but that's just because
I meant Pharaoh. My bad. I said Decimate. Yeah, I did not.
Oh yeah, Pharaoh. But yeah, I mean, APAC won, or Mindfreak won APAC. No surprise there. They locked that spot up. EU's just finishing up. NA, we just went over the big matchups. Now let's preview the quarterfinal matchups tonight. The first matchup, Optic Gaming versus Rise. This is a match that went Game 5 last week. Supposedly the games were super close. I don't know if this is going to be streamed, but if there was a quarterfinals matchup I would watch, it would be this one. Just because Rise had such a close series with these guys last time, and I feel like they could do it. It's one of those things, right? Mentally, when you almost beat a team and you play them again that next week, you can make those adjustments and potentially beat them.
Definitely. I feel like Rise is one of these teams that I have a lot of high hopes for throughout this whole season. I think the roster change, we've touched on it in previous episodes, but I think TJ is going to bring a lot to the table for this team in both Respawn and Search and Destroy, just making them more dynamic overall. Do I think they're going to beat Optic? Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go to another map 5. I'm not sure which maps that they're actually taking off of OG, because from what I've seen, I watched just like VODs of Optic and like YouTube's videos and stuff. So interested to see on what game types they're able to consistently take versus Optic.
I think last time it was a Hardpoint and S&D, which is actually kind of crazy because it's one of the two, Hardpoint. From the games I've watched, I haven't seen anybody really touch Optic.
Yeah.
They won both Hardpoints by 10 points.
Whoa.
All right. So that's huge if you're an Optic fan, because that means their S&D is really, really good right now.
Yeah.
So I think this Optic versus Rise matchup, I think this is a series I'm very excited to see. But yeah, I was just about to say I haven't seen many teams beat Optic and Hardpoint. Well, It seems like the Game 5, the Iceman TJ. Yes, formal melted him. He pulled out his blow dryer. That is a World War II variant that you can unlock via contracts, and you can melt the Iceman, which is TJ Halley. But yeah,
hard counter.
If you are an Optic fan, that is great to hear. I'm guessing why Optic hasn't been showing their S&D, because they're probably just a step ahead. And when you have that team chemistry, I get it, man. I really do. So yeah, that'll be I think probably the most entertaining matchup. The fact of the matter is Rise was like the only team who's really taking maps off them. Like I watched Luminosity play Optic last week, and it just wasn't close games. Like there was a CTF, I think that was 1-0, but it just seems like nobody can really take advantage of Optic at all. So I'm excited to see the results of this Optic Rise series. Up next, We have E6 versus E United.
A little revenge battle.
Yes, revenge. And what we're talking about is the first 2K. There was a crazy Game 5 series between E6 and E United, and E6 really is the reason that E United was in the position that they are. E6, I believe, was ranked pretty low because these guys didn't have many pro points besides general. So they probably faced off in like the round of 32, and that's really where you saw E United fall, and that's why the pressure has been on them this far. So I'm really excited about this one. Let me hear your thoughts, Tyler.
I think if EU takes this, I think I put a lot more faith in them as a team overall. I think the fact that they shouldn't be losing to a team like E6, that's not a diss to E6 or anything. I just think E United has, the more talented roster from top to bottom and should have more team chemistry overall. The surprising thing though is there's just times where it seems like some people just aren't on the same page. A similar story to EG some of the times, at least from the games that I've watched. I try and, tune in as much as I can to hear the communication and how things are going, if everyone's listening, everyone's feeling comfortable, things like that. But I feel like if United can take one of those searches off of E6, it should be, comfortable series for them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just not sure what to think of this E6 matchup. I mean, they've been consistent week to week where they're always in the top 16 or the top 8. But I want to see more from these guys. Again, we touched on it. General, he took a chance. He's taking a risk on these guys. Again, the past couple of years, it's if General plays well, the team wins. If not, they lose. And I feel like General just took that risk to say, I want to play with skilled players. I'll be that leader. I'll still play well, of course, but he really wants to take these guys to the next level, so I want to see more of them. I'm excited to see how they perform at Dallas. But yeah, man, I agree. I think United is finally getting sort of on the same page. They're performing, they're closing out games, and that's really been the issue. If United, they close out games, well, they're probably in a COD Champs final. Am I right, team?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So we'll that's really their big weakness right now. On the other side of the bracket, so those winners will face each other. We could talk about it semifinals maybe after these couple matchups, but
yeah.
On the other side of the bracket, you have TK again in top 8.
Beast.
They're
I love it
again. They're still surprising.
I love them
against Ground Zero, and I think this is really the teams that have surprised us the most this year. Again, we touched a lot on Ground Zero, TK a little bit last week, but here they are again. TK, they've gotten top 4 the past 2 weeks. Supposedly Kenny is an absolute beast. Like he just I'm not exactly sure what he does because I haven't watched much of their gameplay. But
I've watched his stream. I've watched his stream a fair amount. He's smart. I love watching him with a sub. Just his movement around the map, just always catching people off guard. He just seems like one of the top subs in the game right now. I really hope it does translate over to LAN. That's why I'm kind of like, reserving my thoughts on a lot of these teams to wait and see how they do play on LAN, because online's a different beast. You're playing from the comfort of your own home. We'll see how these people are going to be able to perform under pressure if they do play that same fast style to try to challenge as much as they can. It really does change a lot on LAN, but we'll see. They're doing well.
Yeah, and then again they'll face Ground Zero. I got a feeling this one's going to go Game 5, and I think Ground Zero takes it. I think both of these teams, I just haven't seen quite enough yet. I think they'll probably split Hardpoints. Like TKO might win Game 2 or Game 3.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Ground Zero in Game 5.
I'm taking TK 3-1.
All right,
I'm giving them the props. They've had consistent 2Ks the past couple weeks. Really seems like they're ahead of the game right now, and teamwork makes the dream work. TK all day. I'm just so stoked that this team is doing well. Might just sound a little bit biased, but that's okay. I'm taking them 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, guys, Ground Zero is Parasite's team. That is what they made it yesterday. So that's what we're calling them now. So sorry if you guys are confused. And then the last quarterfinals matchup is really just the consistent teams. I mean, Ghost has been here week after week. Luminosity, they've gotten finals back to back. And it just seems like nobody's really challenged Luminosity besides Optic. It just seems like Luminosity deals what they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But when they face Optic in the finals, they still just don't have that firepower, and that's what we sort of talked about. They sort of, I don't know, man. It's just tough to deal with the Optic Gaming roster. But, Ghost versus Luminosity, how are you feeling on this one, Teep?
LG all day. They make almost every single series look pretty easy from what I've watched, and that's it speaks to a really good team. It's just like they have very consistent gameplay. Not surprising because Cap's on the team now. It's just every series it just seems like they're very in a very comfortable position, and I just don't feel like Ghosts matches up on the head-to-head battles versus a team like that.
Big thing to me is, and I don't want to touch on it too much, but I mean, this is a team house in California
Yeah,
versus all four little either middle or East Coast. So those host battles are going to come in strong on this
definitely.
one. Props to Ghosts is they've got their shit together. They are in a giant mansion with trainers. I don't know, man. Shout out to Ghosts. I wish when you and I were playing, we had that sort of stuff.
I
But
know, right?
anyways, the game has developed quite a bit to where now all those guys are doing everything together, and you can see it's paying off. I haven't seen too much of Ghosts, but I think we just both sort of hit it. There's not that many teams that have really challenged Luminosity besides Optic.
Yeah.
They've handled what they needed to do. I've seen a lot out of Octane and John. Slacked and Cap, they do what they do. If Cap has a really good series, typically they don't struggle at all.
Yeah.
Not one bit. When he sort of has a bad one, maybe John just has an inconsistent, or Slacked has a bad like SMG game, they tend to struggle. But again, really, Optic's the only team that has handled LG well. I think that's it for quarterfinal matchups. Before we move on to hypothetical pool plays, who do you think's winning this 2K? T
Optic Gaming.
Optic Gaming.
They I just barely see them drop maps. It's just simple as that. The fact that they actually are losing hard points is shocking to me. I wonder how they are losing them, especially like versus teams like Rise. Like, no offense, but like just looking top to bottom, Optic shouldn't be losing hard points really ever,
Right.
in my opinion. Especially with how besides maybe like a Gibraltar that goes down to the wire, maybe something like that. You lose a couple of them. It's just lopsided, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I want to take the other side. I really do, and I will. I'll pick someone else for the show's sake. But deep down, I know Optic will probably win this week. Again, I just don't think anybody has really played at their level. Again, every time they get put into a clutch situation, Optic finishes it. I mean, it's just what they do. Like you'll have
Yep.
Karma step up and just sort of close the game out, and that's what you need. I mean, they're just closers. Uh, who do I think is going to win, Splice or Vitality? I'm going to go Splice.
Yeah.
But anyways, if I didn't think Optic was going to win it, I'm gonna go a little crazy here. I'm gonna go with E
Okay.
United,
Oh, I like
and that's
that.
tough because they're gonna have to beat E6, and
Yeah.
then they're gonna have to beat Optic or Rise. So
Yeah.
the way E United wins is I'm gonna go like this: E United will beat E6, Rise will beat Optic.
Yeah.
So
And
then
then
E United will
yeah,
beat
okay.
Rise,
That
and
could
then in the
happen.
finals, E United will play TK and beat them.
It's not a
That's
bad.
how
Yes,
that's how I'm going.
I like it. It's not a bad prediction too, because you never know. Rise could have taken the game 5 last week. Maybe they could do it again
Yep.
this week. Yeah. Okay.
And as I said, Stream, I mean, I just gotta take the other side here and make shit interesting.
I
So
like
that's
it,
what I'm doing. Yes.
I like that.
Sometimes we just have to deal with things, It's like I don't know. I don't want to be Skip Bayless. I'm not that crazy and delusional, but I gotta take the other side sometimes. So coming up Wednesday,
time?
as we talked early on, Wednesday we will air the pool draw, and we're pretty excited about that. It's always exciting because that just brings out a ton of content. For anybody who didn't know how we're doing it this year or for Dallas, A, B, C, and D will be decided. A through C is number 1 through number 3 NA. D is number 1 EU. And then from then on out, like pot B, where we're pulling from, I believe it's 4 through 6 NA, number 2 EU. Pot C is 7 and 8 NA, and 3 and 4 EU. And then the last pot where we will be pulling from is number 1 APAC, 9 and 10 NA, which is interesting because that's probably going to end up being E United and EG.
Yeah.
Unless E United continues to win. But anyways,
Yeah.
that can still be very scary. And then 5 EU. So today we did some mock draws. I did some mock draws today, and you can, I don't know, do you still have that
Pop them
pulled up?
We're up.
Popped them up. So this is based off hypothetical seeds that were today. These are going to change a lot. Again, Envy, they only got 200 points or something, so they'll end up being like 7th or 8th seed in NA. Everything could change. But if we look at these, the first set, you have Pool A, Optic, Envy, Scraps, and Team Delaware, who I don't think is in it anymore, but I didn't know that making
Yeah.
this today. So we'll just change this to Vitality.
Perfect. Well, I can't change it on OBS, but switch
I got it, I
Delaware
think.
for Vitality.
Oh, yep. So I don't think this is a crazy pool necessarily. I think you have a pretty clear cut 1-2 in Optic and Envy. Team Scraps, whatever their team name's going to be, I have no idea yet. They have the potential to sort of pull off an upset, but I think Optic and Envy take that one pretty clear. Team B, or Pool B, again, this is all hypothetical. Luminosity, Enigma 6, Epsilon, and Mind Freak. Now that's where we get a bit juicy.
Oh, that's real juicy. These are going to be some stacked groups, bro. Super
Absolutely.
stacked. And then you got to think of who the open bracket team is going to be that hops in here. Oh, baby.
Yep.
This pool play is going to be lit.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of crazy draws. Then you go further. You have TK, Red Reserve, Rise, EG as a potential pool. That is another one that is ridiculous to me. And then, as you said, you have the pool play team or the open team coming into this. If this was a pool right now, TK, Red Reserve, Rise, and EG, who do you think is getting out of it, team?
TK, Red Reserve, Rise, EG. Oh, my God.
Yes, guys. I am married. That is a grill.
That is a grill.
It's a brand new grill. Black Friday shopping. I got a grill.
Let me think about this. I think I want to say, man, I was all on board the TK hype train.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Rise EG.
You're going with the bottom two.
I'm going with the bottom two.
You're getting rid of Red Reserve.
Yeah.
And TK, you're going with the bottom two.
I am.
All right. Ace Pat. Never placed out a top 2 first event. Remember that. All right. We'll remember that. Although, whatever. Okay. We'll remember that. I really, again, if I had to pick, I really want an EU team to do well the first event. I think that's super important for those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we talked about this in previous weeks. I don't want to have to keep saying, well, EU didn't practice first NA, and that's really the big thing here. So I want Splice or Red Reserve to get out. I don't think it'll be Red Reserve. I'm going to go I think I'm going to take Rise and EG as well.
Yeah.
If I had to take that one.
I trust those players more in a big land situation, early event. I just have to.
Right. And then this last one's even more nuts. Yeah, Splice, Ground Zero, Ghost, United. Again, dude, these pools are going to be absolutely insane.
Oh, man.
Splice
United, I take.
Splice and the United. I think I would go... I kind of want to go Splice Ground Zero. Again, that's a potential pool. It's not going to happen.
I'm sick of United Splice. 100%. Yeah, I'm taking
that. So, yeah, guys, this is what pools could end up playing out to. And then I did another draw, and we can look at that. You have Optic, Red Reserve, Ghost, United. I think that one I would go with Optic and United.
Yeah.
B, LG, E6, Epsilon. These are a bit more realistic. They're not too crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like that first draw, like that is potentially what some pools could look like. It's just insane talent from top to bottom. I think these you just sort of have your favorites like Luminosity, E6, Epsilon, EG.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably go LG, EG there.
Yeah. Unless E6 like completely surprises me on land, which I like to be proven wrong, but yeah, I think you have to take LG, EG.
In our potential pool C, you could have TK, Ground Zero, Scraps, and not Delaware. That is Vitality. We'll change that too. This one's a little bit interesting because I feel like Scraps could end up getting away with this. But I think I would go with TK and Ground Zero here.
Ooh, I feel like Scraps. This would be a good pool for Scraps' team to
Yeah,
make it out to
absolutely.
winners.
Like
I wouldn't be surprised if they take second.
if there was one they would want to get into, hypothetically, it'd be this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I would do. Nah, I'm being boring again. I'm taking TKGZ.
And then last, this one is sort of the juicier one in this draw. You have Splice, Envy, Rise, and Mind Freak. We haven't touched on Mind Freak too much, Tyler. Like they've handled their region extremely well.
Yeah,
Ghost, they got what, top eight? 8W, they got top eight. And then the past 2 years really just haven't been
just nothing really.
successful for them whatsoever. Do you have any hope in Mind Freak being better this year than last year and potentially getting out of these pools?
Two-part question. Do I think they're going to
Yeah.
be better? 100%.
Yeah.
Because we had our fair share of mean comments towards Buzzo throughout the last year. We were kind of mean. We thought he didn't belong, yada yada yada. But now he should be back in his comfort zone, just like a lot
Agreed.
of players are now. So will they be better? Yes, 100%. But they're not making it out of pools. No way.
I want them to shock the world. I really do. I agree with you. I feel like
Let's say this is the group. Who do they? They can't beat any of these teams, in my opinion.
yeah, I know.
No.
In the first draw where they have Luminosity, E6, and Epsilon, maybe.
Yeah.
I think if FIDA
Depending
and
on the group,
Nets
but
play extremely well, there's always going to be that chance. I just, I pull for those guys. I want them to continue to do well, but it just sucks that their region just has so much less competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where it gets interesting though. Say you take Mind Freak out and you have three teams like Splice, Envy, and Rise. I think I would go Splice and Rise here.
Ooh.
I think Envy loses. I just haven't seen enough
Ooh.
out of Envy yet, man. I have not seen enough. I'm not sold yet. I still think
I had
the
such
transition.
high hopes. I had such high
Yep.
hopes for this Envy roster, and it's just I don't know if flat is the right word, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough of their actual gameplay to make a good opinion on this, to see really how Hook is doing, how he's like assimilating back into Call of Duty, things like that. So again, I just want to. I guess I'm just gonna wait and see till Dallas. I think they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna be really good.
Yeah. I just think it's gonna take more time.
Yeah.
Like I can see at Dallas them like getting like yes, Jack, we know that who's the best player ever. I totally get that. But it's gonna take some transition time for him to get back into Call of Duty. And I can see like the first event them getting top eight, and then after that like skyrocketing, because
Yeah.
I'm not too. I don't know, man. Again, we've
I'm not
talked about
sold.
this before. Yeah, I'm not sold yet. I still want to see more from. I want to see classic play. Nicky D is the
Yeah.
determining factor for me.
I agree.
I'm a huge Nicky D fan. He's been consistent as hell these past couple of years. Probably the most underrated player in Call of Duty. I mean, last year when he was going off, we finally gave him some love. Like he was finally like topping the KD on his team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty tough to do when you have players like Saints and Octane.
Yeah.
But he was going off. I think it was stage 2, like regular season, when he was just playing absolutely ridiculous. And going into stage 2 playoffs, he was probably the best player on his team. But I have to see if he plays at that level, then I'm sold, man. I'm all aboard the Envy hype train.
And this, I'll say it, man. And I hope they prove me wrong. Well, we didn't really ever see a roster like this on Boots on the Ground. So this was like a Jetpacker roster, right? This was a roster that was formed in AW. So we saw them do very, very well there. Very talented players, but they, it happens sometimes where you switch games and players go from, top tier to like middle tier players, and it just happens sometimes. So it's gonna be interesting to see how all four of those players, transition over to this game. Maybe they will still be good, but will they be as good?
Yeah, because
That's
you
only
know
thing I'm
how I
waiting for.
feel.
Yeah.
If this was an advanced movement game, this team is
Oh,
top 2 every
bro,
event.
final-
Like,
yeah,
I don't think there's any buts about that. Like honestly, again, their skill can only go so far. And I think if we have an advanced movement game, this team takes over, has the potential to win just as many events as Octa does, but it's not. All right. What is that? Splice is up 1-0. Yeah, I expect Splice to sort of lock it up now.
Yeah, Spice is
Um,
good to go.
they're gonna again. They have that number one seed. But yes, I believe that is it for our agenda. We're at like
Yeah,
50 minutes right now. Is there
perfect
anything
timing.
else you wanted to talk about before we get into sort of a little Q&A, Tyler?
Um, no, man. I just, man, looking at these potential pools on these hypotheticals,
Hmm.
dude, this is gonna be a
Yeah.
sick event. There's gonna be certain teams that drop out probably before top 16 where we're gonna be like, what?
Hmm.
It's gonna be wild. It's just every single match when you get down to like the top 20, it's gonna be a good ass game, or should be.
Yeah, and again, we'll talk about open bracket, the pools that are drawn next week, because open bracket's a whole nother topic. You're gonna
Yeah,
have teams like FaZe in there, Echo Fox, Millennium, all these top EU and NA teams who were right on the bubble, not that just didn't make it in. And open bracket will be scary, but we'll get into that next week. With sort of the official pools, we can discuss all those, how we think those are going to play out. But we're getting really close to our first event. I'm super excited about it. I know Tyler is as well.
oh yeah, baby.
So let's do a bit of a Q&A
Q&A.
before we get into the quarterfinals of the 2K.
Chat, let us have it. Ooh, this is something we spoke about very, very briefly before we started the show, but we might be getting a guest this next week. No idea who,
Yeah,
but
yeah. If you want to be the guest,
possibility of a guest.
if you want to be the guest next week, spam PogChamp in the chat. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
Um, what team in the open bracket can be a surprise? Shit. Well, I mean, I got to see the full open
I
bracket
need a
list.
whole list. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll put that together for next week. Off the top of my head, I imagine Echo Fox and FaZe get through.
yeah.
Um, after that, it's sort of up in the air. Surprise? I still think a lot of people, including myself, are a little underwhelmed by them. But maybe this Rocket Esports team. I mean, they've had great placings until Sunday. I mean, just it is what it is. So we'll see.
All right. What else we got here?
What do I think about Crim running main AR over formal? Is that actually a thing? Is that 100% a thing?
From the videos I've seen, Crim's been mainly rocking FG42 a lot of the time. But I mean, if that really is the case, I'm sure Formal is just like a flex guy in this game. Like,
Yep.
you know, Formal and Ghost used whatever weapon he wanted and did just fine. A little bit of a different meta going on there, but I'm sure they all just switch. If they're not doing well, they just switch weapons and call it a day. I've seen Karma running a sub a bunch, doing just fine. Formal's been going back and forth from what I've seen. This is just from a little bit of videos that I've seen back and forth, but they're all just flex. And some of them,
Formal uses a sub a lot. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, I think in Black Ops 2, where, Hardpoint was everybody's focus, I think Crim could have easily anchored. He probably did
oh
for the
yeah,
most part. I mean, you can speak to that more than me, Tyler, but
totally. Like
I think at no point could Crim not anchor.
I
And we
think,
sort of talked about that. Like, just let
yeah,
Formal sort of run around, not having to worry about that, because that's something Crim would just get pissed about. Like,
yeah.
dude, we're like, hold the spawns, and maybe that's just not something Formal's always thinking about and doesn't want to have on his mind. So just let Crim worry about it.
And like from how this game plays, someone like Crim, you want him on the FG42, really controlling the pace of the map, playing at whatever pace that he wants to play at. So I think it's probably a comfort zone thing for Crim. I've always thought he's a better AR player than he was a sub. Fantastic at both. Don't get me wrong. This is just from my personal perspective of when he just seems most comfortable. And from what I've seen, he's been doing great with the, I guess, anchor role, if you want to call it that. It's a little bit looser in this game on some of the maps. But,
Absolutely.
But I think they look damn good, and Crim's has been doing great.
Yeah, like Black Ops 2, like there was certain spots, and if you died, like you lost your team's the spawns. I think there's a few places on maps, but for the most part, because where the hills are placed, so if you die, you typically spawn up there again. And again, I think the game has just developed where players recognize when they have to sort of play that anchor role, where it's a little bit looser, as you were saying. But yeah, again, we've touched on this. Why not let Krim worry about it? Let Formals and Scump just run around and do what they need to do.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see. Who do you think plays? This is good. So I don't know if you saw the drama between Temp
Temp
and
and
Pat and
Pat. Yeah, I
P.
watched the video.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
screaming
This is
at
a
each other.
good question. Owen wants to know who do you think places higher in the first event, Temp, Envy, or EG?
Oh shoot. I this is such a cop out, but I feel like if I had the actual pools in front of me, I could make a pretty good call on it.
Uh
But just
huh.
just off the top of my head, I don't
Uh
know,
oh. This is tough, dude. This is like, yeah, I don't know.
bro. This one's got me stumped. This
Dude,
is a good
Owen has
question.
stumped us. I'm thinking too. I haven't seen much of Envy play yet. That's still the big thing to
I
me.
don't know enough, bro. I don't know if I could really answer the question. And then if I just take EG, I'm biased towards Pat, so it's like,
Yeah.
shoot. I'm gonna cop out. I'll answer the question next week when we have pools.
All right, I'm gonna go Envy.
You going for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna just piss off Pat, dude.
Oh
I'm gonna
shoot!
fire him up. Pat, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go with Envy. I just want to see Slasher yell at him. You know, that's hopefully they play each other in losers bracket. Hopefully that's how it's decided. Hopefully we can come back
Yeah,
to this episode and discuss this. How Owen stumped us, but then it led to a great epiphany.
yeah.
That is these two teams playing in the losers bracket.
That'd be so sick.
I saw another good question. Oh, okay. Here's another good one for us. Do
Pat
you
is such a
think
troll.
a EU team will win an international tournament this year? I don't
Like,
remember who asked that, but I saw it
wait,
and I thought it was a real good one.
like another
Yeah, here
like,
we go.
like is he saying like Splice
Swindle.
again, for example?
Yes, yeah, like an open, like a global open, or stage one or stage two or champs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That took you a while. You were thinking
Yes.
about that one.
It would only be Splice that would be able to do it, in my opinion. But I think they have a roster that could do it on boots. Totally.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
They're beasts. I think the Tommy switch is going to make them very, very a lot more consistent than they were before. Thoughts?
I agree. I think Splice is gonna fight top four the entire year.
Yeah.
Um,
Their roster should be fantastic at this game versus NA competition.
least confident yeah ever. Yeah, I was like, shit. Did I disconnect from Skype? I thought Tyler.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
Racking my brain.
I agree, man. I think Splice is too talented. I think after Bance, Jared, and Madcat won a tournament last year, there shouldn't be a reason why they don't have the experience or whatever the excuse may be. They should be in contention the whole year all year long, and I think they walk away with one. I mean, there's a lot of events for them to win, but I think they do it.
I think they get one under the belt. Do it multiple? Probably not. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, it's
But
tough, dude. Like,
if you get a
that's
good
so
bracket,
tough.
this team could beat probably anyone if they're on a roll.
I mean, even just look at last year. Like, I mean, I know last year the game was a lot different, but the fact of the matter is it was just depend. Like, pick a month and there was a different team that was the best team in the world. Like, you had Splice, you had Luminosity, you had United, you had Optic. Like, even Envy for a little bit was starting to spike there at the end. I mean, if
Yeah.
they got second at stage two playoffs and second at champs, like, but they also beat Optic in series.
Right.
It was so matchup dependent last year. I think vetoes is something that maybe we discuss next week, but that'll play
Definitely. Yeah, we need to
a
touch on that.
huge role into sort of those games. But like last year was nuts, man. Like it just depended who won on those streaks. So I think the competition's too high for them to win multiple events, but
Yeah.
I do hope that they walk away with one.
Oh, that's going to be a juicy conversation about vetoes too. I have a lot
Yeah.
of stuff I'll say about that. So cool.
Let's do one more, and then everybody can sort of go disperse and watch their 2K teams if anybody's
Yeah.
streaming. So let's see if we can find one. All right, everybody, if you have questions, put them in here. I've never lost a veto, says Pat. We love that, Pat.
Yeah, Pat, you're the best. We know.
We gave a lot of beasts. We've given a lot of thoughts these past couple of weeks on Parasite's team. Go back and watch the VODs. I'm trying to think. Oh, geez, these are flying in.
Um,
All right, here we go. Rise. I think this is a team we haven't talked much
yeah.
on.
Okay.
Colin 2494. Rise has consistently placed well in 2Ks. Will they continue it on land? On land.
Yes. I think Rise is going to be one of the most consistent teams throughout the whole year.
All right. Yeah.
Just so, one of the points I touched on before, I kind of roasted Felony a little bit for his performance throughout this last year. Again, it's a different game, so I don't want to hold that over his head like too much. But I feel like if Rise is going to be consistently pushing for, I don't know, like a top 4, top 6 throughout the whole year, Felony's got to be above average. I think the rest of them are going to do what they do.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it. I think Aqua has been insanely good, like top 5 player good these past couple of years. Although they haven't had much success. I mean they won Vegas and then they went on a hell of a roller coaster ride last year. Black Ops 3, that Elevate team, they could just never beat Optic, right? Like they would get to a final and they would just get stomped on. Black Ops 3 COD champs, they got third because they lost to Splice, I think, in the losers final. I think Aqua is just good. Like he's just good, man. Like the guy shoots real straight. Looney and TJ are sort of the deciding factors for me. I agree with your Felony pick, but it's almost like you know what you're going to get out of Felony. It's either a really good performance or a really bad one, and
True.
It's almost like you can't rely on that. So the people I'm going to rely on are Looney and TJ. I want to see Looney continue to step up, and I want to see how TJ sort of develops as a player.
Yeah.
Again, their search and destroy should be great. So if they're, again, if they beat Optic in 2 Hardpoints, that's looking great if you're a Rise fan. But
For sure.
and then they lose 2 S&Ds in a game 3. So we'll see.
On the TJ point too, if I said that stuff against that Envy lineup, it's sort of the same to TJ. What if he, in the advanced movement, he was a top player, like a top tier player, right? What if we go to this game and we get to, the LAN tournaments and he goes from not quite top tier down to like the more average level? That could definitely happen too. It's just really, it's going to be tough to say. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I think TJ is probably going to be the best, if not second best player on the team. If I had to guess.
Nah, people told me TJ was better at the past games.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure like Black Ops 2, like he won all the S&D tournaments. Right. I have no idea, but that's something to keep your eyes on. So it's 8:02, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We had 1,600 viewers. I think that was our most ever.
Yep, we're growing.
We're growing.
Can I get a hashtag growth in the chat, please?
Hashtag growth. So now that I'm looking, it looks like Parasite streaming, Study streaming.
Chat, tell me who you want me to host.
It looks like everybody. Oh, Chino's streaming? Maybe we should give Chino some love.
We're giving it to Cheen. Never mind, chat. I don't care what you say. We're giving some Cheen love.
So yeah, guys. Next week, 7 p.m. Probably again because I imagine the 2K doesn't get any smaller.
Right.
That's the whole reason for this. So make sure you guys tune in every Monday. Follow Teep's channel. Follow us on Twitter for updates. The Twitters are right there. If you're about to buy a scuff, use one of our codes. We appreciate that big time.
Yeah.
Follow, subscribe to the stream. Hope you all have a great night. Watch the 2K games tonight, and we'll see you all next week.
For sure. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Another episode next week. These will be going up on YouTube on our channels tonight.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Quick
whoop, whoop.
ad break because I'm greedy, and we're hosting Sheen.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Love you all. See you next week. Host. What's his channel? MJ Chino.
MJ Chino. The Cheen.
Let this ad roll out a little bit. Let the ad roll out a little bit.
Are they playing yet?
I don't know. Let's go take a peek.
It's playing CTF. Flak. Are they scrimming?
They're probably scrimming.
Yeah. Yeah, they were scrimming against United.
Cool. Okay. Bye, chat. Love you all. Thanks for chilling. I'll be streaming my regular stream tomorrow. Bye. Enjoy Chino.
Come play your wagers with me.
Oh, Nate Shot wants to play. Hello, Nate Shot. Bang.